USAID, along with the State Department, has been one of our strongest mechanisms to secure the region and national security, and also build relationships throughout the entire world. In Haiti, we've seen huge support and huge forward movement when it comes to USAID providing an option for many children who are either forced to join the gangs or face starvation and their families dying. But USAID has stepped in and actually gave them an option, which is to eat and provide food. We recently spoke with the World Health Organization and other organizations that are there feeding people in Haiti. And one of the things they brought up to us is that if they don't have the funds by March, they will not have the option to start feeding again and doing those programs in Haiti. Although there is a waiver, we've already talked about at length about the problems with the waiver and them kicking in back with the payment system. But we also have to talk about how there is not enough people to be working at USAID right now to facilitate that. We've gotten several calls of people who are anxious about what is going on, including people who are actually sending food out through our ports in Palm Beach. We've heard a lot of people wondering if their food's going to be sent. Farmers now are worried. We have over 23 farms that are being impacted in the state of Florida. So I have a question for you. My question is, I think we all can come together and agree that auditing USAID is actually a good thing. We can talk about where we agree and disagree. However, the real issue is implementation. We're finding that this implementation is creating extensive collateral damage to American citizens and also to our partners. And we're also finding that some of this damage is irreparable harm, meaning that we just can't fix it by giving them money. We're hearing more and more about people who are exposed and who need life-saving treatment who are not getting it despite the waivers. And so I believe that the strength of our nation is us following that constitutional privilege of us embodying and allowing Congress to actually determine the implementation. So I want to know for you, how much of USAID's programs are actually life-saving programs? Yes.
Of the $38 billion last year, $15 billion was humanitarian assistance in emergencies, famine relief, disasters, civil wars. $8 billion was for health. Most, except for the family planning program, which is, the last time I checked was $275 million. Most of the health programs were life-saving.
And so do you believe that if Congress
That's about 55% of the budget.
So do you believe if Congress actually had the opportunity to do its role in actually crafting out the implementation over DOGE, do you believe that we would have been able to substantiate or even to make sure that many people who are being harmed right now are not being harmed?
Well, there's a problem now that's people who are being denied, who can't get the antiretrovirals because the system is shut down. There's violence against the aid workers and against our AID officers. There was an incident just now in Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where the aid officers had to take their families and go across to Brazzaville, across the river to another country, because they were under attack for people who thought they were going to die because they couldn't get this aid. There's a whole bunch of articles on this. This is not a small incident. This was very, very serious. Some of the embassy people were under attack too.
Well, thank you so much for identifying that, because USAID is not a faucet that you can turn on and off.
Right.
You cannot pause it and then turn it on and think that there will be no damage. However, I do have confidence that if Congress had the opportunity, instead of DOGE, that we could have worked across the aisle to identify what would have been the consequences and, in fact, protect not just our farmers, but the people who are using it. We're hearing more and more stories about people who are actually losing their lives because they were part of an experimental program, they were part of a USAID program, even hearing stories about people who have objects and instruments who are still in their body, and because there's a stop order, they cannot remove them. And so as we move forward, I would like for us to focus on what is the strength of our nation. Us being able to work together and identify how we can actually promote the agenda of the United States, but still preserve our compassion. And I have full faith and confidence that if we had the opportunity to do our constitutional duty as members of Congress, working with the chairman, who I've worked with several times before, and I believe he's a compassionate person, that we would have saw what was happening and prevented any kind of collateral damage to our farms, to our district, to our ports, especially the loss of life. So as we go forward, I think we should stop focusing on totally a few programs which you may disagree on, but focus on how we can regain ourselves internationally, because every single day that we actually have these arguments and funding isn't going out, China is stepping in. Russia is stepping in. And what they're telling them is that we are not reliable, that we will not be there, that we will start and we will stop and people will get hurt.